Hey, product managers. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about something called documentation. Now, you might be sitting there going, "Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! I thought we got rid of that." I mean, the second line of the Agile Manifesto says working software over comprehensive documentation. So we're done, right? No need to document anything. And I've seen that a lot. I've seen a lot of product managers document nothing and instead just write user stories and put them in Jira and think that that constitutes a product vision. But it doesn't. And now that we're all working remotely, we're all at home, I have to tell you that documentation is more important now than ever. And I'm not talking about the good old days where we wrote 77 pages of specifications for logins like I did. I'm talking about just getting your thoughts down on a paper, trying to make a cohesive statement about what you actually want to build. So that's the type of documentation that we're talking about, and that's what we need today. It is more important now than ever for you to clearly document your objectives for product management. And that doesn't have to happen in a really, really long spec, but it has to happen somewhere. What we used to do was create wikis, just like really quick wikis, where we would have the scope of what we wanted to build, why we were building it, some links to user research, just some general thoughts about what it actually means to build this and what's going to do for our customers, the problem it's going to solve, and what constitutes success. If you're having trouble collaborating with your fellow developers or even upper management, I'd really suggest for you to start focusing on how do you document things. So now that we're also remote, besides just working with your team and developers and your designers, you also have to work and collaborate with management better. And that means managing up. And that really is about having a clear story about what you're doing and why. So why am I building this? How does it relate to business goals? How does it solve customer problems? And what's my objective and what's my plan for actually getting that done? So that's why you need to learn to write. And as a product manager, it's really, really important for you to learn how to write down your thoughts into a cohesive narrative. And there's some really good templates out there to try that. I like the Amazon two-pager where you start with the press release as if you were going to release it to customers and then work your way backwards. So write that first. If you Google Amazon press releases, you'll find it out there. I've worked with teams that have done short little, we call them North Star decks, where we have a little deck, nothing crazy. I'm not talking McKinsey style decks here. I'm talking just a little deck, right? With some wireframes, the objective, the customer problem you're going to solve, the personas in it, and then the scope of what you're building. And they use that to collaborate around what is the product that we're doing here. And that's the type of thing you need to write down, especially before you go into work, to break down your backlog, to scope out stories, to really figure out how to get the work done. You have to collaborate around what that work actually is. And that's missing from tons of processes out there because we looked at this Agile manifesto, we probably saw, hey, working software is all that matters. And we just went a little bit too far to the other side and said, oh, no documentation is needed. But that's not true. You need documentation. So it's about lightweight, just enough in time documentation. And I think that's so important for remote teams. So what can you do to start? Just start by scoping out and writing down what your objective is and what constitutes success. So what am I building? What problem is this solving for people? What's required in a solution to actually make it successful? What's my research to actually back that up? What types of user research have I done? What types of market research have I done? What types of competitive analysis have I done? What's the expected value of this? How does it contribute to business goals? What's it contributing to if it's a feature for a larger product vision? And then start to get into the details of how that's going to happen. What's your strategy for actually getting that done? Some lightweight sketches, some wireframes, depending on what fidelity it's in, or your plan to go discover more or experiment. That's a pretty good place to start. I would suggest trying to write that up in about 2 pages or a couple slides if you're going to use Google Slides and you want to attach some imagery. I'm more of a visual thinker, so I like to get my images down, sketch it out, see what it really looks like, and put the context around it. That's super helpful. But documentation, especially if you're going to be a remote team, is incredibly important so that you're all on the same page. Because you can't just drop by anybody's desk now and say, hey, let's clarify this thing. We have to have something to refer back to. So good luck documenting, stay safe, and I hope you're enjoying working remotely.